I'm a huge fan of Good. I can't wait for him to get on this stage right now. But before I knew it, once again, our baddie stalker has showed up.
Let me tell you something, Natalie. You're not fucking done. Motherfucking messages online.
Out of nowhere, we got stalking raggedy ass Sydney No Star trying to crash the party once again.
You are fake. Not my show. I'm sorry, Bobby.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Touche, and I'm so happy to be your host once again. So in today's video, we're going to be delving straight into the most recently released episode of Baddie's South with the team name A Baddie Must Keep It Pushing. Okay, so yeah, this version is can we talk about version. So hello, if you're ready to gossip with me, if you're ready to gossip with me, let us meet in the next video, okay? Yes, if you're wondering what the Can We Talk About version is, it's basically me, selecting wordy topics based on certain events that happened in the episode and like really dissecting and delving into it, okay? So now if this is something you are interested in, honeys, like I said, let us meet in the next gossip room, okay? At the house in Houston, Texas, of course, which was like their last CT. Again, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, apparently, let us talk about their house. Can we talk about the house they were to stay in at Houston, Texas? That house, before I even spill what I want to spill, right? Now, at first when I saw this house, I was like, this house is giving like vintage church-like vibes. And not too long after I said this out, Jayla immediately stood up and said that house was apparently a haunted house. Now, according to her, she said back in like, I don't know, whatever era, that the house was burnt down. She said if you had come, or if they had come to see the house very much like several years ago, that house was a black, like it was all black, and there were rumors that the house was haunted and all of that. Now, apparently this was the house that these girls were to stay in, because obviously this house had been rebuilt. And you know what, immediately Jayla said that, I was like, damn. And truly the exterior of this house was honestly giving haunted. I wouldn't say haunted, but it was honestly giving creepy AF. Now, the girls on seeing this and on hearing this were obviously spooked. Slim, for one, kept asking Jayla to like, hey please, don't say anything, I don't want to listen to that. And Bree on the other hand was like, bro, I don't fuck with anything haunted. If I step into that house and I see or I feel like I cannot stay in that house, I'm definitely gonna get a hotel room. I was surprised and also not too surprised when Jayla finally said that this house was like a rebuilt haunted house. So like, I was like, hell nah. Okay, so the girls finally get into the house, they get into the living room, and I'm telling you, you think the exterior is creepy, wait till you enter. Like the interior, like the living room for one was honestly giving a whole lot of creepiness. There were like vintage pictures, statues. I was like, like what? I was, bro, if I literally, like, if I had stayed in that house, I'm telling you, nothing would make me come downstairs at night. Nothing. Lights out. In fact, I can say for one that I would not even sleep alone. In fact, after I drop my bags, I'm looking for who I'm going to like pair with for the night, because like I said, I don't with those things either. So like, yeah, the girls came in and the living room was really creepy. You know, they said a little and then they went on to see their rooms. Bree for one was like, you know, that if she gets to her room and her room is even more creepy than what the living room was, that she was definitely gonna get or book a hotel. Right now, when they got into the apartment, or rather when they got to their different rooms, I would say that the interiors for the different rooms was like, or were like a shift. Like it was like a major shift, because you know, it was like, in fact, it was like entering a whole new, entirely different house, because like the rooms for one had like modernized, it had a modernized or a more modern interior, right, compared to the exterior of the house. And then the living room was giving vintage and creepy. The exterior was giving vintage, churchy, creepy, everything associated with, I don't know. But like, yeah, the rooms, their personal rooms, was like a whole different vibe altogether. It was like, you know, modernized, nothing associated with any creepiness or like, you know, airiness. So like, you know, I was like, it was like a major shift, honestly. So yeah, Bree went to her room and she was like, okay, I can mess with this. And yeah, that was how she ended up, you know, not booking the hotel room like she said she was going to. Now I have to say, like, the ladies' rooms were pretty. I think I messed with Rolly's interior more. But then, if I'm to talk about who had the most pecs pertaining to room select, I would say Jayla, because Jayla got herself a room that had both a terrace and a balcony. Hello, like what? Now Nali on the other side got a room that had a mini parlor. If I was to choose, I would rather go for Jayla's room, because like, hello, I'm all about fresh air. So most definitely it was Jayla's room for me, and I feel like Jayla's room was supposed to have been Nadi's room, but I see why they gave Nali her room, because you know, like I said, he had like a mini parlor that was well furnished and all. But I'm like, bro, I for one would miss out on the mini parlor and go for a balcony, please. Let me know in the comment section what girl you are or what guy you are, if you would rather go for a mini parlor and, you know, miss out on a terrace and balcony. You know, in this last house, rather, all the girls had access to their different rooms, their privacy. Nobody was paired with anyone, no bunk beds. Thank God. Thank you, Zeus, for finally considering Rolly, because like in my previous video I said it, like, I did not appreciate the fact that a lady like Rolly was having to sleep on a bunk bed, especially for her size. Okay, over to the next scenario. Now this is a scenario that has an Persuasion and Bree basically just sitting out and like having a chit chat. Okay, now so they talked about like a couple of things, but like the topic that I would want us to discuss first of all is, you know, Anne's comments. Right now, I think Persuasion mentioned, I'm not really sure, but I think Persuasion said it. I think they were trying to like recap the fights in the house, and that was what led to the whole Anne not being in a fight, or Anne's fight with Rolly, right? Yeah, that's what led to the whole Anne's fight, like, you know, Anne being in a fight previously with Rolly, if you remember that whole scenario. Now, according to Anne,
yeah, y'all know I came on the yeah, you sure
Very
did.
much so.
But after
Very much,
Rolling,
honey.
after my fight with Rolling, when she knocked the Mario coins out my head, I'm like, I'm done.
now this really cracked me up, because if you remember vividly, when Anne newly came into the house, she came with so much brimstone, like so much fire. Like she was like the aggressor, she was like the instigator, she was like, you know, the one to like always be so ready to talk on things that didn't even necessarily concern her, which was actually, and that was exactly what was putting her at odds with most of the ladies there. Her inability to just keep her mouth shut. Probably when she came into the house, she weighed the ladies and she was like, okay, these ladies, I think I can deal with them, or I can, you know, I can be like, you know, a bully or something. But like, you know, it's not good to judge a book by its cover, you know. So now remember, in the previous episode, she got into a fight with Persuasion. Persuasion beat her ass. She tried to bully Bree. Bree of course stood her ground, and then it was lastly Rolly. Rolly really beat Anne's ass, and I was living for that moment. I'm not even gonna lie. So yeah, so like, I'm so happy that, you know, Rolly was able to, like, not even just Rolly, but like Bree. I'm happy that these events happened the way they happened, because like Anne even has said herself that, you know, Rolly actually, what's the word, disciplined her. That's the right word there. Rolly humbled her basically. So next scenario is a scenario that had Scotty and Slim basically just sitting outside and talking. She made a comment that really riled me up. Basically, whilst talking about the whole fight that happened between Nally and Rolly, she said that she didn't see why Nally felt the need to come for Rolly, but she's happy that Nally met her match. I was like, what? Now this is the thing, like I mentioned earlier, Slim is a follower, so obviously she's going to say a lot of bullshit to, you know, paint her friend in a good light. Now, if you watched that episode, the previous episode where this fight between Nally and Rolly went down, that fight, like I said, wasn't supposed to be between Nally and Rolly. It was a fight that was supposed to be on natural ground, rather, be between Cody and Rolly, because as far as I'm concerned, those were the two parties that had a misunderstanding. So for Slim to have said what she said, instead of really stating facts, I was like, you know what, at this point there's nothing else you have to say to me, because it's so obvious that you're not just a follower, but you're so biased. So like, that statement was, it really got me. Like, I wouldn't say I was disappointed, because I mean, I haven't been expecting so much from Slim, because I mean, you don't expect so much from someone who is following another person, because obviously they don't have a mind of their own. Okay, so next scene is basically Rolly meeting up with Nally in her room now. So apparently Nally had like texted Rolly to come over so they could talk, and obviously it had to do with the fight that they had gotten into in the previous episode. Now, can we, well, before Rolly had come into this room, Nally had been just laid down all alone in her room. Now, if you if you rewind rather to like episode 1, it was Nally and Jayla, you know, best friend goals and all of that. But like, with all the events that had happened and, you know, led up until this very moment, obviously Jayla and Nally were now very much apart. That whole closeness no longer existed between both women. So like, yeah, I know that probably Nally would have loved to, like, you know, finally have like, you know, a formal conversation with Rolly based on the fight that had happened in the previous episode, that obviously they had even settled out, or they had even settled in the club when they were dancing. Well, you know me, my mind is always going far and reaching places that some person's minds wouldn't. So like, you know, basically in my mind I was like, Nelly, are you reconciling or are you having this conversation formally with Rolly? Because now you know that you're all alone. Jayla is not in your corner as she would always be, you know, because right, obviously, as of now, you already know Jayla and Christian were now like besties, Baddie's besties, and you know, Nelly and Jayla had some kind of fallouts and they were no longer as close as they were. So, you know, it was just Nelly alone in her space. So I feel like, you know, Nelly needed some kind of like companionship, and she knew that, you know, I think she knew that like there was a lot of distance between her and the other ladies, and the only you know, companionship she could get or she could really enjoy, you know, in that group was from Rolly, because obviously in the previous episodes it was always her. Even when she had that like misunderstanding afresh with Jayla, it was her in the van with Rolly, Slim, and I think Bree. And Bree, whilst the other ladies were, you know, in the other van. So like, yeah, she probably had weighed all her options and seen that, oh, it's best for her to have, you know, Rolly on her side than on the opposite side. So yeah, I don't know, maybe she really did have genuine intentions, you know, having that formal conversation, but I also feel like loneliness kind of like motivated it as well. Yeah, let me know if you feel otherwise in the comment section. Like I said, my mind is always touching places that you would not even imagine. Trust me, when I'm watching these episodes, I'm like, okay, my mind is doing plus and one, like plus and zeros, you know, plus, minus, ones, zeros, you know. Yeah, I'm a mathematician like that. Okay, next scenario is, of course, Jayla saging the house and the ladies. Now let's talk about juicy topics. First of all, can we talk about Jayla's spirituality, because it confuses me. Like, because I don't see the affiliation with saging and God. I mean, I'm a Christian, so like, I mean, her whole spirituality is very, very complicated, because I am a Christian and I don't do saging. I don't do all that psychic stuff, and it's not even related to, I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna sit down here and judge, but I'm just saying that her spirituality is very, very confusing to me. Like, what are you? Are you a Christian or something else? Let me know, please, guys. Help me out here. I really, because Jayla continues to confuse me whenever she brings up spirituality and mentions God. Is it the God that I serve or a different God? Or, you know, like, help me out here, guys. Please help me out in the comment section. Let's also talk about Jayla finally walking up to Persuasion to, you know, she had saged the other ladies. It was, Persuasion was left to be saged. So she walks up to Persuasion's room and she sages her. Now, while she was saging Persuasion, she started shaking. And the next minute, she was crying, asking for a hug, basically. And you know, Persuasion obviously gave her that hug. And you know, that was when Jayla was like, okay, that she has read her energy and she feels that she has a very strong energy and she feels a lot of anger, you know, coming from Persuasion, that she needs to let, basically she was telling Persuasion that she needs to let that anger go so that, you know, she can progress and all of that. And you know, like I said, I don't want to judge anybody. I don't want to judge anything. I'm trying so hard to like understand Jayla's spirituality. It's not really connecting with what my own religion is all about, which is Christianity, because she keeps mentioning there's no affiliation between God and, you know, the whole, all of those extra things that she's doing, right? Because as a Christian, if you feel like something is amiss spiritual wise, the next thing you do is to pray about it. So like, this whole saging thing and psychic abilities and all of it's just a little bit like too abstract, you know. It's like my spirituality as a Christian is on this side and Jayla's spirituality is on the other side. So like I'm like, okay girl, like okay. But yeah, can we talk about that whole moment that happened between Jayla and Persuasion? Because according to Rolly said that whatever Jayla did there as at that moment was fake. That she kept looking at Jayla's face to see if she would find a tear. But she couldn't find a single tear. You know that Rolly would always be blunt and outright, right? And this was what she said. At first I was like, giving into the whole thing, but then it wasn't also still like, really feeling that authentic, because we all know that Jayla doesn't like Persuasion, let's be honest. So like, and the whole tears and stuff, and well, probably I don't know. I don't know, maybe this is just me overthinking things, but like I said, according to Rolly said the whole whatever happened there between Jayla and Persuasion was fake. I don't know what to think. I don't know if I should confirm or if I should agree to what Rolly said. But let me know in the comment section if you agree. Let me know what you think about that whole thing that happened between Jayla and Persuasion. Do you think that Jayla was really, probably in the spiritual realm and, could really feel that Persuasion's energy was negative, or that was just her animosity speaking? And do you think that the whole breakdown Jayla had and wanting a hug from Persuasion was genuine? Let me know in the comment section. So please, can we talk about the fact that I didn't see Jayla sage Nali? Is it me? Or maybe, I don't know. Did you guys see Jayla sage Nali? Because I didn't. Or maybe I wasn't watching well enough. I don't know. Help me out. Okay, so this is the next scene and the very last scene. So this is a scene where the girls are sitting in the bus to Anthony's birthday pool party. And please, can we talk about how good Persuasion was looking that evening? Like, I loved her whole outfit. Like, it was giving. I feel like she was the best dressed that night. I was like, okay. Like, it was really giving to me. Let me know. I feel like she was the best dressed that night. Let me know in the comment section if you concur with this. But yeah, Persuasion was really looking good that night, I have to say. Okay, can we talk about how massive Anthony's birthday bash was? Like, it was giving. Like, it was massive. The pool party that evolved into like a late night live performance. I was like, what? I was like, that's the kind of environment I want to be found in. Okay, like I was feeling the whole fun right through my screen. I was like, damn, this is a place to be in. Like, Anthony, not for me now. Hey. So yes, Anthony's bash was really giving. Let's talk about that, please. Like, that bash was everything. I was like, damn, how do you move from a pool party to like a live club event? Like, I was like, So yes, it was actually an interesting thing to see, and I was even feeling like I should have been there, have my own fun. Hello. So yeah, that was like something. I feel like that was like the highlight of this episode, Anthony's bash. In fact, they should give Anthony his credit, because if not for his bash, probably this episode would have been whack. I'm not saying that other episodes have been whack, but I'm just saying that this episode wouldn't have had as much life as it did if not for Anthony's bash. So yeah, they should give him his credit. Come on. Let us talk about Sydney Star. Yes, you, Sydney Star. The stalker and the, I don't know, party pooper. Like, she did not just try to crash Anthony's bash, but she crashed Gutta's performance. So apparently Gutta was supposed to perform, and everybody was like, waiting to like see what he was bringing, only for Sydney Star to like climb the stage Obviously, they gave her the mic thinking she probably has something good to say. But she climbed the stage, and the same thing she did back at the Calendars Club was what she did at this performance. And I'm like, what? Who even allowed her to even climb that stage? Like, I was so pissed. Like, she just, and because of what she did, obviously, Gota refused to perform. And I'm like, bro, that girl needs to be smacked out of that event. Like, I was so pissed. I, for one, was very pissed. So, like, what is wrong with you, Sydney? Like, can't you just take an L with a smile on your face and just move on with life? Like, Zeus Network is not the end of life for you. Like, you can venture into other things and be productive with your life. It doesn't have to, it's not compulsory that it has to be on the Zeus Network. You can even look for like a different franchise or something. Like, it was so annoying. I was so pissed. I was so pissed on behalf of Anthony. I was so pissed on behalf of Gota. I was so pissed on behalf of Natalie and the rest of the girls. Personally, if I was there with them girls, trust me, I definitely would have jumped in, because that was so annoying. There are certain things you do not do. All for what? All because you were kicked out of a season? Like, what is it? Like, what's wrong with you? You need to go and check yourself, Sydney. I don't think at this point you are okay. No, to be honest. Because, like, seriously, it's a no for me. Like, I was so pissed. But yeah, let's talk about someone else. Okay, so this is more like a bonus. Can we talk about actually, it's something I've been noticing over time from the episode, like from episode 1 up until this episode, and it has to do with Jayla. Jayla, what is it with your white wears? Like, what's up with the white? Like, what's going on? I don't think I've seen Jayla on another color. Or maybe she has worn a different color, but there was definitely a touch of white. Like, what's up with the white wears? Please, can we just tone it down a bit, please? Can somebody give her like a different color of I don't know, clothing? Please. Okay, guys, so this brings us to the end of this video. Before I call this video to its end, I would like to give a major shout out to Mel O. Yes, Mel O, I'm leaving for your engagements. Please keep them coming. Like, keep your comments, your clarifications coming. I loved the energy, and please keep that energy burning. Keep the fire burning. If you'd like to get a shout out like Mel O, please, you know what to do. Engage with me, baby. Engage in the comment section, and definitely I'm gonna give you your shout out. All right? Yes. Okay, guys, this brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead to give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.